Right, I'm back. I've gone and got my Carpenter's compensating magnetic extendable bit. What do you think? Compensating for something, isn't I? All right, that needs to, oh, that is probably 40. That looks pretty good. It's looking good, bruv. All right, I'm gonna leave that there. Now then, this one. Right, now is what I wanted to tell you guys is, don't copy me. I joke, it's only a pin. It's only one of these. Right, no, wrong one, that goes in there. It's not amazing, but that is good and rough. I like those words, don't you? Good or rough. So now that you see here, I've got my 40mm, and here I've got my 40mm. Now I know that all of this top is going to run in line, but now next I need to do an end panel, and now I need to leave 40mm below for that piece to be infilled. Because this is what I mean, guys. Look how I don't think that gives that a lot of context. Like for me to be in line and see that, like, I've got to be there, but there's still another 40mm to go on that, so I've got to be like down here. So yeah. Check it out. End panel. So let me help you with something else. Sorry, I shouldn't point. Rude to point, innit? Rude boy. My next point is venti to venti. So this is how kitchens work, guys. Let me help you understand this. Play around with this. So I'm going around. So I'm yet to do one. Don't panic. I will be showing you how I infill that. I've got my SD cards getting worn out. It's telling me it's bad. Anyway, so I've got one, and I'm yet to show you guys one. I've not yet put that in there. And I've got unit 2, unit 3 with my ovens, then unit 5 on the floor, and unit 19 that I've just put in. So I've done 6, 7, 8, 32. Anyway, yeah, I now need 20. So I come along here, and I come to 20, so I'm looking for order code PW704, the 748 wall end panel. Let's see what we can find. Right, so we've got it, we've taken it out of our box. Now, look at it. We have more lit on this edge, so this edge wants to be the front, so that's going to go on there like that. So all I need to do is do a 40mm mark at the bottom, then clamp that in place, tick the top, and then I'm going to traxel the top off, then that can be installed, I believe. I better check that. Yeah, absolutely, that can be installed. And then I have a funky panel. So you guys can't see this on this drawing, but that cable should have come down and not at the top there like that. So we will hide that, watch and learn. That's why I leave it so long. That is that adjusted. Man, it is hot today. Right, 11:06. That needs to go back up here and stay safe. We can do this one or two ways. Let's do this an easier way. Let's just do 704 plus 40, so 744. And make sure you take it off the right side. Nearly mark the bottom then, because I want to leave the bottom and cut the top. Ooh, that is interesting. Don't give you a lot to play with on these, but they give you enough, I suppose. I guess another thing I should check is depth. Looking at this. Right then, YouTube. As you can see, it's been a minute and I've got most of these in. I now need to do this last end panel piece, and I've struck again. I'm sure when I looked at the code on the cupboard, because no one's fault, but I'm held responsible, and I'm fitting the bill. I'm sure when I picked up the code, I read the right code for the corresponding unit, as in I needed a 7 or 6 or whatever. Couldn't have done. So anyway, here is what we're going to do to rectify the problem, rather than go on about it all day. So let's clear some work area, let's clear some workspace, and get to work. This is what I'm going to make a thing of, showing you how to do the end panels, as well as doing the far end, the other end. But we're going to start with this one. So a tape measure. All I need here is just a little piece to come forward. So what I'm thinking of doing is just taking this end panel and ripping it down to 70mm. That'll be enough. Because then what that's doing is, out of a 350mm panel, that leaves me around 280mm, depending on saw blade and stuff like that. So let's cut that down. Right guys, so There's no real set measurement I need here, just as long as I've got more than enough to infill against the wall. So I'm just going basically in line with this. All right, there we go, there's that. So now then, guys, with this piece in mind, and how have I lost them? I had some clamps out. With these in mind, I literally just need to, that's something else I need to do. So this is basically going to go on here at the end like this. I'm going to need to shift that around until that's 20mm proud, and I'm going to need the height. So I'm going to need that to come down a touch. From experience, this is pretty much going to have to come down flush. Yeah, it's just slightly over. It wants to be about there. This wants to be, I'll tell you what, if that's 22, this here also be 22. I'm having to grip with this hand today, guys, because as you can probably see from my arm, just been to see a mate about some sports therapy, and he has battered me. It's feeling good though, getting that blood flow. Right, so now to determine our scribe, go on there. So let's say, don't need it too tight because we can cork it. So if I said that's a 114, where's my pencil? It's out there, and 114, and this is also 114. So this is not really scribing, this is just doing like a parallel rip and putting it in. But that's where it's important when you skim, when you dot and dab. If I find something that's out, I'll sort of try and make a point of more of a scribe. But for me, really, by starting right, I end right. I take the hard work out of myself. I'll try and find something else that we could scribe at a later date, guys. So let's take those measurements and go and cut. Oh, and I need to take that top off. This probably would have helped if I'd made that kind of mark on the bottom. And yeah, if I then go to these two marks, lovely. All right, let's go outside and cut. So first things first, I'm going to take, if I can, I'm going to take this top off cleverly. There we go. So now, bearing in mind that I want to keep this face, yeah, that's going to be the top, I think. In fact, I'm not going to do that like that. I need these to match. So here's another little helpful tip for apprentices. Square that up, make your mark there. True this up, mark there. All right, now let's cut that off. All right, now then, on that front edge, I need 114. That's that, that's that. That's not ideal. It's not ideal, and I should have supported that better, but we will never see this. So, most important lesson I can teach anyone, test fit it before you go and do something silly and then you can't alter it. I'm not really going to be able to test fit this very well. It's a bit tight, and that's a bit loose. Even that's a bit tight. That'll go though. I don't want to go putting a planer on it and messing it up for the sake of a few millimetres that can be corked. Because if I go and get my planer on that, that will chew through it, because the last thing I've done was oak doors on my last job, where I've done the 3 oak doors and the fitted wardrobe. No excuse, but they're a little blunt, and I don't fancy messing things up. There we get one shot at this. There we go. That is gone. And pretty much as fast as that goes off like that, is how quick this goes off on. Look at that, it's not even that tight. Prep is everything, guys. All right, I believe the camera cut out there because it's got too hot. Right, now we've got all of this in, we are pretty golden to now go around, put all our cornices and stuff on. And I've just realised why that's leaning, because I've not adjusted that shelf. That last little end piece. What have I done with a big screwdriver bit? Lock that now. How have I locked the big one? Where would I have put it down? Ah, what a day. Good afternoon, YouTube. I've been a bit radio silence. A lot's gone on. This side's pretty much in. I'll do some talking and explaining. I've left out an important corner piece, and I'm still yet to do my scribey infill at that end. But behind me, I'm dealing with some plumbing. I've had half days and doing bits and bobs here, because I do, as much as I do my construction and my carpentry and my kitchen fitting, and I take on the plumbing and bits and the electrics when maybe I shouldn't. I'm a very capable guy, and I've been off doing other bits. I've been on Off the Job podcast, laughing with Pete and Kieran. If you don't know who they are, I'll try and drop a card so that you can check out Off the Job podcast as soon as my episode goes live. I'll update you guys with that. But yeah, I've been a bit radio silence, and I've just been trying to catch up and smash this out a little bit to try and get ahead of myself. Thank you to you lovely viewers for smashing that like button, and thank you for getting involved and dropping your comments. I try and help everyone as best as I can, and thank you to I've seen a couple of people are giving their explanations on top of my explanations, which gives you guys more context. So thank you to you guys. If you guys are reading through the comments and rightly or wrongly agree with my plumbing's a bit cowboy, or whether I shouldn't be doing electrics, or whether you like the fact that I do the electrics, or whether your opinions are your opinions, I'm politely always going to do what I do because I'm capable of doing what I do. I check in with a plumber. We've just been on FaceTime, and I got my electrician that I check in with just to confirm stuff. The plumber's gas safe registered, and the electrician has done his AM2 and more than competent. You other electricians perhaps think he's naughty for feeding me this information, and vice versa, whatever. But at the end of the day, I'll get this place tested, and it'll have an EICR at the end of it. It'll be safe, because I respect electricians don't want to go around signing off other people's work. I would let the electrician come in and do the second fix or check the second fix, but everybody's busy, and you guys want videos. I need to get to my next job. Politely, nobody's got time to wait around for each other. Life moves forwards, and I can't pick this bastard up now. So I've been playing around with this. I'm trying to put this in here safely, nice and neatly. All right, got to be real careful with this, guys. We've got a nice little electrical thing there. We've got I say two drains. They're not two drains on this. They are an overflow and a drain off. So the drain off is for like a forced regen, or when it's programmed and timed for a regen. And then we have the option of sending hard water or soft water through. And we obviously want soft water. We want to be protecting all that we can in our property. That's the whole reason this customer's bought it. Now I need to kind of gently plonk this in a hole. There we go. Now then, I've trapped me pipes. Have I trapped me pipes? Yeah, I've absolutely trapped me pipes. Don't like doing this, but I've got to get them out. Come on. All right, so this one is staying here-ish. And do you know what? This one, I'd feel a lot more confident if this one went down now. So yeah, basically I'm waffling and I'm digressing. I am trying to get this water softener plumbed up, and I'm under a bit of pressure. So I'm just going to crack on. And the approach I'm now going to take with this kitchen, guys, so that I can crack on and not stand around talking to the camera explaining everything. I shall go around, crash this kitchen out, and then I shall explain key points like corners, scribing in that corner what I've done to set this water softener up. I've got an isolation on the return, on the flow and on the return, or like the in and the out, so that if you ever had to change this, ball valve, bit of a wet vac, drain that down, take the tablets out, swap for a new one, connect, ball valves open, and you're back online without having to drain down all your system and all your tank and worry about backflow and feed. Yeah, I'm on one. So yeah, I'm going to turn the camera off again, and then once I'm at a point where I can explain a few more bits to you, I've done some electrics with the ovens and the fridge and everything are now on. I've got a load of points open so that my water can flow everywhere but where I am working. So that's what you can hear dripping into that bucket, and that keeps the water out of my way while I'm trying to solder, and I get a nice clean solder joint. Get my words right. Right, turn you guys off for a bit. We'll check back in when I'm done. Right, guys. Hopefully you can't really see me there, but I want to try and get the bottom of that cupboard as much as I want to get me in. Maybe if I move back a bit, maybe that will get me a bit better. Right, guys, you want to learn a bit more about electrics, but I'm not really the man to teach electrics. However, I can show you and explain some things to give you context of how the electrics work. So you could plug something in and see if it lights up, or see if it works, to know whether that's live. But as a professional, that is not good enough. As a professional, you need a volt stick. And you don't just need a volt stick that you can go in there and touch something. You need to, I probably haven't got anything that I can show you now because most of the electric's gone away. But basically, you need to be able to go in there and touch something. You need to see that it's working, and then come across to something that's not working to identify that, one, this is working, and two, that is then you're safe and you're confident. At no point am I trying to show you this so you can copy me. I'm showing you this for context so you have better understanding. So I thought this lovely little setup that I got wrong, because when I think of things quickly, I do get things wrong. I got this wrong. So I've taken that single cable out and I'm extending the ring. So you see I've got two legs here and I've got two legs here. You're not going to be able to read this, but here's how it works. That is in and out, in and out, in and out, yeah? And there is 16 amps and 16 amps. That makes 32 amps. And I've lost my fuse spur. So if you was going to spur anything, comment below, because I do not want to misinterpret and educate you on this. So I'm going to tell you to make sure it's safe. So if you had one leg coming down here, you would then want to put a fuse inline or some kind of isolation switch with a fuse in, which would have a 13 amp fuse in it, even though that cable's rated to 16 amp. That would then protect your leg and your circuit, and you could then do another socket down here. But you can only spur once. You can't, this may be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm gonna speak to an electrician before you tell this next bit. And I'm going to do another little diagram, because I believe once you've put a fuse in there, you're safe to continue, but you then have to change your cable, or he's perhaps told me something different. Cut that bit out, let's get to the point. So today I'm going to extend this ring, and currently that cable is live. That fuse board is not very well labelled, but through pot luck, there's two 30 amp sockets and neither are labelled upstairs or downstairs. But there we go, that is that isolated. So extending the ring. Let's for a start, you want to make safe for your other end before you go connecting loads. You would go around and second fix and then you do your fuse board. So we have this wonderful back box. Take your snips, take your cutters. That is not necessarily the professional way of doing it, it's just a way. And we now want to put both of our cables in here. I know you guys can't really see this. Right, so that is that cable there. So with plenty to spare, we're going to cut those there. So I'm going to show you up close to the camera. I'm going to start at this end. You need to be careful doing this. So I go to the center because you shouldn't be using the earth. Some people will do that and you'll see them get to here. I can't even get it open now. And they will go something like this, and they would get this earth and they would then hold onto this end and they would rip that back. Big no-no, because you could damage the integrity of the earth doing that. You just need to pull them apart with your hands, right? And to demonstrate something, when I make a nice clean termination, just nip like that, tiny little nip, and then is what happens is I get to there, it just breaks. Ta-da! And then, basically down there is what I'm then going to do. So once I've got those cables, I'm going to leave enough so that, say if that was in the back of the socket like that, I want to be able to do that essentially into the back of the socket, or that. Nice and neat. Or, let's think about this, or say that, if I was going in the bottom. So there's something, so that there's a bit of slack, so that when you pull that socket off, you can play with it. Right, now I don't actually need this, I just need that copper, so that I can earth everything correctly. Get my words out. Correctly. That is the sound of my volt pen switching off. Always make sure you've got a flashing red light, or read your user manual, make sure your volt pen is on, and make sure it's not gone to sleep. So I now need to undo all of these. Let's just undo everything. Let's start from fresh. Get this in here. Do I want that in there? Yeah, I want that in there. So undo this box. I've seen some real poor DIY stuff where people have used 2-core cable and the earth as the third when they should have used a 3-core cable, and that is a big naughty no-no. This earth keeps you safe, guys. This earth is that brother watching your shoulder that's going to tap you on the back if something's about to go south, and he's going to cut the electric. He's going to cut the flow of electric. Or that's not necessarily the correct terminology I'm using there, but it's just some terminology that I'm using. Right, now this is where I'm probably going to start confusing you guys. So I'm going to make this very, very, very clear. This is why I leave a lot of slack, so that if I chop into that end and it damages something, I don't need to worry, because I'm not limited on cable. Right, here we go. So let's also make this proper sleeving, so that the next person that comes behind me can identify everything. So you see that black? Here's where my sleeving's not going to fit. Why don't that fit? That is some thick old cable, isn't it? It's famous last words. Right guys, sorry about that there. You guys got a little bit hot and the camera had a little bit of a meltdown, so we had to cut that. So look, this is how I sleeve. We slide this here, get on there, over the earth, right back into there, and then I simply find the end, bend it over, decide how much I want, gently nip it, pull it back, cut it, and slide it back on. Nice and neat. Not saying that is the way to do it, or the only way to do it, or the best way to do it. I'm simply just showing you that's my way of doing it. So I'm sure nothing's happened, but just before I go touching these live ends, let's just check. So now is all I need to do is wire my socket back up, and this is how we properly extend, other than throwing the new leg in, this is how you properly extend a ring. And this is context so that you guys can understand what that is if you ever see it in your property. By no means am I encouraging you to copy me, because you'll get hurt, and I ain't being responsible for your actions. I'm simply showing you for context. And I'm sure I'm going to get every Sparky's back up in the United Kingdom for showing you. I would not do this in a normal customer's house. For context, this is simply because this is family. Now let's get the neutral in. Luckily this earth cable is not the same 2.5 cable. This earth cable is only 1.5, I believe, on 2.5 cable. It's slightly thinner, but it's what I need to do. I have to achieve getting every bit of that in without dropping the screwdriver. Getting one in ain't too bad. Getting two in, getting one in is easy. Getting two in is even easier. Getting three in, definitely difficult. There we go. Right, so let's make this safe and push this socket back. Checking that that's pulling back in. And then this faceplate can go back on. Pull that back into the wall a touch more. There's that. Now we're using these screws. Right, I was putting that back and showing you how I sleeve all that up and putting that back. That is now on, so now I just quickly want to show you guys. This is not good enough for a test, but it's good enough to know that it's safe. Don't think that's going to pick up very well. And then again down here. There we go then. Welcome back, YouTube, end of another episode. We've got some cupboards on the wall and I've given you a brief insight to electrics, but by no means am I an electrician and by no means am I encouraging you to play with electrics. Always, always call an electrician. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Make sure you are subscribed and you ring that little bell so you get notifications for uploads every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And sometimes we do a special live. We've got a couple of people here in the live. Shout out to Mitch Mahoney. Shout out to Dave. Shout out to Robbo. And shout out to Moto Goyo. Those guys are currently on a live with me in the comments. And without turning on that little bell, you might see, but you won't get the notification that I'm going live. So make sure you ring the little bell so you get notifications every time I upload. So this week's riddle. You see a boat filled with people, yet there isn't a single person on board. How is that possible? If you think you know the answer, comment below. And if you want more time, pause the video. If not, here comes the answer to, you see a boat filled with people, yet there isn't a single person on board. How is that possible? The answer is, all the people on the boat are married. Cheesy as anything. Proper dad riddles. Proper dad jokes. Right, that's the end of this week's episode, guys. Thanks for watching. I've been Charlie. This is CP Carpentry. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Bye-bye.